Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again for some more Fighting Fantasy Classics. Now, I promise I will go back and have another bash at Freeway Fighter sometime soon, but today, well, a few days ago now, we have a new release. Assassins of Allansia, Book 68. Now, I have never played this adventure before. I don't even own a copy. I almost bought a copy a few years ago, but my budget was a little bit too tight. So this will be me diving into a brand new Fighting Fantasy book, and I know it's been out, a handful of years now, and many of you will have enjoyed it, but for me this is a real first time. I've got the miniature for one or two of these figures, these characters already, so I really should play the adventure and try it out. I don't know what to expect, but I do know that can't be relying on old memories for this one. Okay, let's see how it goes. Oh, before I do though, okay, we don't need Jake. Jake is our protagonist for Freeway Fighter, so let's find another character for this one. Let's try a few more. See if anything really stands out. Of course, we've got the great Rhino Man there. Okay, so, yeah, we'll call him Kelmar. See how he does. In terms of music, what do we fancy? I don't know, Stalking Danger seems pretty appropriate for assassins, don't you think? Or rather, being stalked by dangerous people who want to kill people. I don't know, are we hunting assassins? Are they hunting us? Now, Allansia, that's Steve and Ian's continent. Although Steve does quite a bit on the old world off to the east as well. Right. Are you tough enough to survive attacks by Allansia's most dangerous and deadly assassins? Oh, in that case we are being stalked by the assassins. After accepting a challenge to survive on Snake Island, a nightmare unfolds when a bounty is placed on your head. Beware the ruthless assassins hell-bent on hunting you down. But who are they? Where are they? Trust no one. Alright then. Oh, Karl Kopinski. He did loads of, he did some of the miniature designs for that Hate board game, and quite a few board games have used his stuff. Alright. Can I get into the book? Excellent. Assassins of Allansia is a fighting fantasy game book, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. Now, of course, most of you are fighting fantasy veterans, and you'll be familiar with all of this. But on the odd chance that someone isn't, as it's my first time playing the book, I will read through the intro stuff a little bit. You have in your possession a sword and a backpack containing provisions, food and drink to sustain you through your adventure. You have been prepared for your quest by practicing your swordplay and building up your strength and stamina. Now, Adventurer is pretty much standard difficulty mode. Hardcore, less skill. I mean, I'm glad we're not playing Knights of Doom, let's put it that way, where you needed to have at least skill 11 to stand a chance in some of those earlier encounters. Free read, yeah, that's a bit too... I don't quite like the reduced skill. So I'm going to go Adventurer difficulty. 21 stamina. Tough hero. Okay. Skill. we're going to have some. Right. Not the mightiest of warriors. So we're going to have to rely on our health to get us through fights. And could we have a bit of luck, please? Oh, we could have a lot of luck. Okay, then. In addition to your other starting equipment, you may take one bottle of a magical potion, which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for one measure, so use it wisely. The potion of skill and strength will fully restore your skill or stamina points respectively. The potion of fortune will add one to your initial luck before fully restoring your luck points. Now, the potion of fortune is normally the best one to take because restoring luck is very, very rare indeed. However, we've got a skill of 7. If we take a penalty and lose some skill for any reason, restoring it would be a high priority indeed. And it is easier to restore luck than skill, so yes, potion of skill it is. Which means our luck of 12 will be good. It will eventually run out, but until that point we'll just have to try not to rely on it too often. So, no tempting fate, and only using luck when it is requested of us, or if it would save our life absolutely. Next you must prepare your adventurer's equipment. You begin your adventure with a sword and a backpack containing provisions, food and drink to sustain you during your journey ahead. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time excluding combat by accessing the adventure sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Now traditionally... No bookmarks, that's not what I wanted. Traditionally it's 10 provisions. It is indeed. We're on the standard 10. So we have 40 points of healing, so we can essentially 61 health. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. Wow, that really is a step down. I've got to do a hardcore playthrough at some point just to enjoy the challenge. During your quest you may encounter characters and items that alter your free scores. Skill, stamina and luck. Don't put stamina first, that's not the traditional order. Also, these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed your initial scores. Once you have readied your equipment, you may begin. Good luck on your adventure. You'll need it. I probably will. Snake Island is a small, uninhabited island which lies between Dogfish Island and Ghost Island off the west coast of Allansia. It is rugged and inhospitable, and it is said that the reason why nobody lives there is because all those who set a foot on the island are never seen again. Whether it is the terrifying creatures or undead spirits that claim the lives of visitors, nobody knows, but the rumours about decayers, worm dogs and flesh heads are enough to put most people off from going there. You have been on the island for 2 days with most of the time being spent making camp and foraging for food. A wager brought you to the island following a chance meeting with an old burly sea captain by the name of Samuel Crow in Port Blacksand, the notorious seaport run by the tyrant lord Azur. He challenged you to live on the island for a month, with a wager of 20 gold pieces should you live to collect it. Being a brave adventurer, unafraid of myths or monsters, you accepted his challenge with a shake of the hand. The captain beamed with satisfaction and slapped you on the back, saying you would regret your foolish decision. The next day, he sailed you over to Snake Island on his boat, the Blue Moon. It was a thrilling ride, with huge waves battering the small sailing boat as it bobbed up and down on the ocean's swell. Whooping loudly as the sea spray pounded his face, the captain trimmed his sails to get as much speed as he could out of his old boat. He taunted you most of the way, saying you would survive less than 24 hours, but you ignored the old salt, confident that you would be more than able to deal with any danger that the island had to offer. It was mid-afternoon by the time the rocky island appeared on the horizon, and an hour later before the captain finally dropped anchor. "Enjoy yourself," he said sarcastically, ushering you off his boat with a flick of the hand. You jumped into the cold water and waded ashore to a stony beach littered with driftwood and sun-bleached bones. You were just able to hear the captain above the noise of the waves crashing on the beach. He wished you good luck with a wry grin, saying, "I'll be back in 30 days to pay you or bury you, unless you've been eaten." You shook your fist at him with a smile and walked off to survey your new surroundings. It soon became apparent how desolate the rocky island was, evil spirits or no evil spirits. The trees were ugly, with bent trunks and gnarled, twisted branches. The thick vegetation was hostile, a tangled mix of needle-sharp thorn bushes and poisonous creepers. A cloud of mosquitoes buzzed around your head, and red ants crawled up your legs, biting you relentlessly. By the end of the day, you had encountered spiders, snakes, scorpions, ticks, grubs, leeches, and other blood-sucking creatures that were going to make your life a misery in the weeks ahead. But having recently narrowly escaped with your life in Darkwood Forest, the prospect of living on an island didn't seem so bad. It would be a good place to test your survival skills and hopefully reward you with 20 gold pieces, which you so desperately needed. This could be a sequel to Forest of Doom. I'm not sure that it is, but it could be. So that would go Caverns of the Snow Witch, Forest of Doom, Temple of Terror. Would this come before or after Temple of Terror? Possibly before. Interesting. Although if we had just completed Forest of Doom, we wouldn't need 20 gold pieces. We'd have enough treasure to be quite comfortable for a while. So having just survived a passage through Darkwood Forest, maybe not. Leaving the stony beach behind, you walked round to the west side of the island, to a small sandy beach where you found an abandoned wooden hut nestled between some large boulders, which means someone was able to live here for a significant amount of time if they were able to build a house. The roof had no holes in it, and the door was hanging off its hinges, but with minor repairs it would be a good place to live for a month. The hut was empty, apart from a dented tin jug on a small table made from driftwood and 2 dirty sacks stuffed with old rags which had once been used as a makeshift bed. You fixed the door and mended the roof as best you could as the light faded. When the sun slipped down below the horizon, the sky became a rich canvas of vivid reds, vivid pinks, a rich canvas of deep reds, vivid pinks and bright orange. The light quickly faded into total darkness, and there was nothing else to do but to lie down on the sacks and go to sleep. After spending an uncomfortable night as the target for countless mosquitoes, you wake up soon after dawn to find your whole body covered in angry red bites. You spend the morning making rainwater traps and collecting dry wood to make a fire. In the afternoon, you make a chair out of driftwood fastened together with vines and a fishing rod made out of a long branch, some twine washed up on the shore, and a hook made out of a button fastening. Using limpets as bait, you manage to catch 2 small fish, which you cook on your campfire in the dying light. Darkness falls, and day 2 ends the same way as day 1, while you are trying to get to sleep whilst being eaten alive by mosquitoes. The wind picks up during the night on the back of a rumbling storm which rolls in from the west. Heavy rain turns into a torrential downpour and beats down noisily on the roof. Rainwater finds its way through your roof repairs and drips down onto the floorboards. That's what happens when you got skill 7 and you're trying to mend something. You hear strange noises coming from outside, with the howling wind playing tricks on your imagination in the pitch-black darkness. The storm eventually passes and you finally drift off to sleep, but in the middle of the night you suddenly wake up with a start. The wind has dropped and you can hear the sound of waves breaking on the beach, but you hear another sound much closer, a tiny squeak, and one which you recognize. Somebody is trying to open the door. Who could it be? Nobody else lives on this forsaken island. It's too dark to see anything. You stand up slowly, sword in hand and heart pounding, hardly daring to breathe. If you want to stand still where you are, near the bed, you want to go and investigate. How about moving into a corner defensively so no one can see me? So, if I stay where I am, they might knock something over. There's that tin mug on the table, right? They might bump into something and make some sound, let me know where they are. If I go... Oh, outside! Outside the hut? Someone's trying to open the door. If I open the door and get stabbed in the gut... No, I'll stay where I am. You feel a draft of cold air on your face caused by the door opening and quickly closing again. You hear a floorboard creak which confirms someone has entered the hut. Call out to whoever it might be. Well, that would let them know that I know they are in here, but it would also reveal my location. If you want to toss a coin on the floor to distract the intruder, yes. The coin lands on the floor and you hear some footsteps followed by the dull sound of a blade slashing at your bedding several times. Whoever it is, they are trying their best to kill you in your sleep. You want to swing your sword in the direction of the intruder or run outside? Well, it's probably going to be dark outside as well, so I might as well just swing in here. You swing your sword through the darkness and feel it strike home. A man's muffled cry breaks the silence and you hear the intruder stumble backwards. You step forward and strike again. Although injured, the intruder is a skillful knife fighter who is very agile and light on his feet. You must fight him in total darkness, which means we're probably both going to have a hard time. Alright, we're of equal skill. This might take a while. Oh! It's a draw. Am I red or... I'm white. Okay. Fight on. Take that, knife fighter. That's not a knife. This is a bloody great big knife that I call a sword. Uh-oh. I can do this! It's the darkness working against me, honest. Oh dear goodness, the pain, the agony. Fight on. I'll get him eventually. This could be a really short playthrough. Ah, come on game, that's not very nice. Got him! Just a little bit. Could luck it. Not gonna luck it. Oh, there we go. Right, so about those rations. Some of you may have thought 10 provisions was a little bit much for this adventure. You didn't reckon on that skill 7, did you? Breathing hard after the desperate fight, you think about who your attacker might be, but know you will have to wait for the morning light to find out. Not wishing to spend the rest of the night in the company of a corpse, you decide to sleep on the beach. Thankfully, the rest of the night passes without incident, and you are relieved to see dawn finally break. Obviously, that first load of provisions was my rations, my breakfast. You go back to the hut where you find the body of a skinny man. 2 long knives lie on the ground beside him. He has a dark moustache, a pointed beard, and a thin, crooked nose. His clothing is Shazari, loose-fitting black robes and black leggings, and a headdress made of a long black scarf wrapped around his head. His only jewellery is a silver necklace and pendant with a scorpion etching on it, which you take and put in your pocket. You also take one of the daggers from a crossbelt slung across his neck. Look, it might come in useful at some point. You wonder why he came to the island to kill you. Did somebody hire him to do it? If so, why? For now, there is no answer. Now, we can search through his stuff or head off looking for food. Obviously search for his stuff, he might even have brought food. First off, if the boat captain sent this man to kill me, how much did the assassin cost? Because 30 gold or 20 gold? No, 20 gold is it's a good hefty amount of money, but I imagine assassins don't come cheap. And if he's hired more than one of them, I don't think he's hired assassins to kill me to win a bet. If I survive on the island for a month, he gives me 20 gold. If I don't survive on the island for a month, he doesn't have to give me 20 gold. He doesn't get anything out of it, apart from the satisfaction. So, that would be a rather elaborate death trap. So I think there's more to it than this. I'm going to search through the knife fighter's clothing. He might have some sort of incriminating evidence on him. You find a small circular brass box with a hinged lid concealed in a hidden pocket inside the knife fighter's robes. There is a silver ring inside the box. Do I want to try it on? If I don't want to try it on, can I take it with me for later? Right. If it's some kind of magic ring that gives some kind of advantage, why would he not be wearing it? If it's some kind of trap, such as on the inside of the ring there is a poison needle that digs into the finger and poisons the person, who would he be planning on giving it to? Not me, because he was coming to kill me in my sleep. I think I will risk it. Oh, for goodness sake. The ring fits perfectly on your middle finger. Minutes later, it begins to feel very tight on your finger. You try to take it off, but are unable to do so. It continues to tighten, causing your finger to turn purple and go completely numb. There was a reason why your attacker was not wearing the ring, and now there is nothing you can do to take it off. The ring is cursed. You lose 1 skill point, 1 stamina point, and 2 luck points. Well, bugger. You begin your quest for food on the 3rd day, feeling annoyed of yourself. I was right not to wear the ring. I was correct to be suspicious of the ring, and I'm wearing the ring. I need to be much more circumspect in my choices if I'm going to make it through this adventure with skill 6. In fact, I probably need some more food. Here we go. You fill the tin jug with water from the rainwater traps outside and can't stop thinking about the attempt on your life. After quenching your thirst, you decide to go in search of food. You are very hungry, having only eaten a bit of fish the previous day. You lose 1 stamina point. Go fishing again. It wasn't that productive the last day. I should probably look for food in other places first. Picking your way through the thick undergrowth, you see a tall bush with lots of ripe red berries hanging from its branches. Could be a trap. Red often means danger, although lots of fruit is also red. Look, Kelmar here. He's not the most skilled of heroes, so he can afford to take a few risks. Ha ha ha! The berries taste quite bitter, but you are hungry and eat several handfuls of them. You set off again, and it isn't long before you begin to feel unwell. You lean against a tree and are violently ill. The red berries are poisonous. You lose 1 skill point. Oh, he is dead. He is so dead. Okay, well look. Obviously we'll have to eat some more of our vitally important rations. And now try and complete this adventure with skill 5. Okay. You pass by a dead tree devoid of bark and leaves where a skeleton hand is hanging on a rusty nail hammered into the trunk. The bones are well weathered, dark ochre in colour, and looks to have been hanging on the nail for years. What would I seek to gain from this? It is a skeleton hand, not a skeletal hand. So it's literally just bones. There could be something behind it in the tree, or the... Oh, I'm supposed to believe the dark ochre could be like tree sap, which I could drink or something. I don't fancy going down to skill 4. I'm just going to carry on. You set off again, picking a path through the thick undergrowth, wondering what other strange things you might discover on the creepy island. It is not long before you find out. An unpleasant smell suddenly fills your nostrils, a foul stench like rotten eggs. There is a strange mound in front of you, something that resembles a huge lump of green wax. Suddenly it moves, rising up slowly on its trunk-like legs. It is a huge creature with an enormous oval head and tiny sunken eyes. 2 small holes for a nose and a gaping fanged mouth from which drool dribbles down its multi-layered chin. It is covered with open sores, which ooze thick yellow pus which trickles down its bloated body like melting candle wax. A swarm of flies buzzes around the creature, landing on it to feed on its stinking excretions. The creature's noxious smell makes you lightheaded and you start to feel dizzy. No, I don't want to fight something that big and dangerous when I'm this knackered. The Decayer spits at you as you run past it. Testing your luck. We got lucky. A thick glob of drool flies past your head, just missing you. You do not stop to look back and run through the undergrowth as fast as you can. All thought of food far behind me. You reach the east side of the island in less than an hour, emerging from the undergrowth onto a rocky open area which ends at the edge of a cliff. There's a rock-strewn beach below, and you notice a cave entrance on at the base of the cliff. There are some rough stone steps leading down to the beach. Walk down the steps down to the cave, wait for a few minutes. Yeah, I'll wait. You keep your eyes on the cave, but nothing emerges from the entrance. You're about to go down the steps when you hear a rustling sound in the undergrowth. You spin around to see a large humanoid creature charging straight at you with its clawed hands outstretched. Its large head is totally devoid of skin, the skull blood red and its protruding eyeballs and long pointed teeth hideously exposed. The repulsive beast is a seldom seen creature of chaos known as a flesh head. Well, with this skill, yeah, I'm screwed. He's going to rip my face off, isn't he? You're unable to get out of the way of the flesh head, which barrels into you, sending you tumbling off the edge of the cliff to the beach below. Might come with me. I got lucky. You land on a patch of soft sand and injure yourself, suffering a twisted ankle and cracked rib. You lose 2 skill points and 4 stamina points. How low can skill go? I mean, there's got to be some kind of lower limit, like 1, maybe? I don't think it can become negative. You look up to see the flesh head peering down over the cliff edge, snarling aggressively. You stand up in considerable pain and limp slowly over to the mouth of the cave. Should have just gone down there in the first place. I wonder if this adventure will include... I'm gonna drink my potion. Where is my potion? My potion of skill. I chose the potion of skill. Where is it? I don't have it. What happened to my potion? I didn't drink it. I know that. Where is my potion? Did I not get my potion at the start of the adventure? Well, if I have to restart, I'll at least try and pick a potion again. You peer inside the gloomy cave and see a coil of rope hanging on a rusty iron peg just inside the entrance. You look up and see hundreds of black bats hanging upside down from the ceiling. Well, that's not a good sign. And here's a picture of a bat that appears to be breathing fire. That's an even worse sign. There isn't much light, just enough to see what looks like a small wooden cupboard mounted on the back wall at the back of the cave. What rope? Oh, right. I'll take the rope. You sling the coil of rope over your shoulder and walk over to the cupboard at the back of the cave. The cupboard door is slightly ajar. You open it further with the tip of your sword and see a crimson glazed clay pot with a cracked lid. There's lots of bats on the ceiling. If it's got a cracked lid, whatever is in there may have dried. And is unlikely to be like a volatile, unstable chemical mixture. You lift the lid and find a small iron key with the number 44 stamped on it. You see it is a skeleton key which will open most locks. You gain 1 luck point. Pleased with your find, you pocket the key and look around the cave. There is a pile of stones in a dark recess in the cave wall. You remove the top layer and uncover a wooden chest with ornate brass hinges. You pick up the chest and carry it over to the mouth of the cave to examine it in the daylight. The lid is inlaid with a skull and crossbones motif made of mother of pearl. The chest does not appear to be locked, although I do have a key. You know what? I'm outside the cave. I should probably consume once again. There we go. I do want to open the chest. You hear a faint click when you lift up the lid. You flinch, half expecting a poison dart to shoot out, but nothing happens. Inside the chest, you find a leather purse tied shut in a small silver box. If I close the chest and scour the beach, can I come back to it? I don't know. That would be a bit of a waste of sections. I will attempt to... Okay. A small click might have done something to the box. Or to the bottom of the chest underneath one of these 2 items. I will open the silver box. One of these could be a... I don't think these are both going to be bad. You shake the silver box and hear something rattle inside. You open it up and find 2 small sparkling diamonds inside. You gain 1 luck point. You close the lid and put the box in your pocket. There are also 2 small corked bottles in the chest. What about the purse? Where did these bottles come from? One is a clear glass bottle containing red ink. The other is a brown bottle with a label on it with the words worm paste handwritten in faded red ink. You must decide whether or not to keep bottles. I will keep the brown bottle of worm paste. I will take both. Open the purse. Feels like a trap. What would be in it that would be likely to click? And where is my potion of skill? I could really do with that right about now. I will risk it because this character is so screwed. I might as well find out everything I can. You loosen the string tie of the purse and pour the contents into your hand. You're overjoyed to count 9 gold pieces. You gain 1 luck point. You pocket the coins and decide what to do. Well, I've already opened the silver box, so I'm going to close the chest now and search the beach. For food, obviously. A search of the beach yields a silver coin buried in the sand and a rusty old knife which you find in a rock pool. You put the items in your pocket and look out to see a barrel bobbing up and down which appears to be attached to the seabed by a rope or chain. Like a buoy. Swim out to the barrel, climb back to the stone steps. Right. If this is a barrel that has fallen off a ship, then it would be floating and wouldn't be tied down. The fact that it is tied down and that someone has ensured the length of the rope or chain tying it down is the correct length for it to sit just on the surface means it seems like a blatant trap. And it's probably not food. I will go back up the stone steps to the top of the cliff. Oh, that's not a good sign, is it? Right, okay. Yeah, look, I see the words Fire Dragon in capital letters, and I know my hero is strength skill free. You're about to head back to your hut on the other side of the island when you hear a loud roar above you, like the sound of flames being fanned by giant bellows. You look up to see a fire dragon swooping down to land in the open space where you are standing. Yeah, I'm going to run for it. Stand and fight my ground. Skill free. I think there's still some opportunity for discovery. As you run for the cover of trees and undergrowth, the giant dragon swoops down and blasts you with its fiery breath. Get that luck tested. Yep, I'm good. You swerve sharply left and keep on running just in time as flames shoot down and scorch the ground where you were a second ago. With its giant leathery wings flapping noisily above you, the dragon climbs into the sky, ready to swoop down to attack you again with its fiery breath. Running into the undergrowth, you spot the entrance to a burrow in the ground, perhaps a den made by a wild animal. Can I fit? Let's hope so. The dragon could just come and breathe down. Well, it depends on if it's got enough space to land around it and how much control it has over the fire. Keep running for somewhere else. A entrance to a burrow in the ground. I think I need to keep going. The dragon loses sight of you under the cover of the thick foliage of the trees and starts blasting the ground randomly with balls of fire, hoping to hit you. But it soon tires and flies off east in search of prey elsewhere. With the coast clear, you head west back to your hut on the other side of the island. You hack your way through the undergrowth, being careful not to brush against the poison-tipped creepers. You hear the sound of buzzing overhead and look up to see a swarm of bees fly out of their hive high up in the tree. This is an emergency situation. You don't mess with a beehive. But really need provisions. You climb carefully up the tree to where the hive is hanging from a branch. You hear a faint buzzing sound, but you are fairly certain that there are only a few bees inside the hive. You poke the tip of your sword inside and break off a piece of honeycomb. That is risky. You reach into the hive and pull out the honeycomb, which is dripping with thick golden honey. Slavering in anticipation, you cram a chunk of honeycomb into your mouth, sucking out the delicious sweet nectar and feeling instantly energized. You gain 2 stamina points. You're about to break off another piece of honeycomb when you hear the ominous buzzing sound of the swarm of bees returning to the hive, in which case I better climb down the tree and retreat back to the hut. I'm not going to grab any more. Look, I could come back later and feed her again. I won't be given the opportunity, but that's just a trap. Or a test your skill. And when your skill has been reduced to 3, you do not test it. You manage to trace your path back to the beach on the west side of Snake Island and are quite relieved to see your hut again. I see a man on a boat who may, but probably does not, have his hands tied behind his back, and a woman with a bow who looks like an elf. I see big giant pointy elf here. Yeah, definitely very elven. I don't think he's tied up. I don't think he's tied to that mast. He's definitely not tied to that mast. If he's tied up, it's because she's forced him to bring her here, in which case he shouldn't be tied up because he had to help pull the boat up. I strongly believe they're working together. You're about to go inside when you see a boat moored up on the beach. It's the Blue Moon, the same boat that brought you to the island, so this is a good way of getting me off the island without having to wait the full month. Captain Crow is on board, standing on deck. He looks anxious when you approach him, but says nothing. When you call out to him, he doesn't reply, but his eyes dart right several times as though he is trying to warn you about something. Oh, so... I did consider the possibility that he is not the instigator, that he has that he has been set up. He's part of the trap, right? Someone paid him to bribe me to come here so they could try and kill me, make it look like an accident. Oh, the hero went here and never came back. But this is a convoluted assassination plan. A quick glance left solves the mystery. Crouched down in the shadows of a large rock is a hooded figure in leather armour, holding a loaded bow aimed straight at you. You hear the faint twang as the arrow is released from you. I do not have a shield. Where would I have got a shield? I don't know, but I think I'm about to get shot. The archer's aim is deadly accurate. An arrow sinks into your leg with a sickening thud. You lose 2 stamina points. Well, there's that. And a skill point as well! Down to 2, okay. Your attacker reloads and fires again, and you are hit a second time, this time in the midriff. You lose 1 skill point. To determine how much stamina you lose, you must roll 1 die. Well, because this isn't a fight, I could eat food. This feels very wrong, dramatically and narratively, but... Grimacing with pain, you pull the arrows from your leg and chest. You grit your teeth and draw your sword and limp over to fight your attacker, who throws back her hood to reveal the unmistakable features of a dark elf priestess, even though she wasn't wearing a hood in the picture. Her neck is covered with tattoos of writhing serpents, and her long, ice-white hair is tied up high on her head. She is wearing studded leather armour with iron-plated shoulder pads. Staring at you with cold amethyst blue eyes, she draws her long sword slowly from its scabbard, a shimmering blade made of the finest mithril steel enveloped in a swirling mist of vivid colours. Swinging it skillfully above her head, the dark elf advances towards you, meeting your sword with a clash of steel. Her chilling war cry sends a shiver down your spine. Hey, if I can bring my sword to bear on hers with skill 2, that's a blessing. I fully expect to die now, but let's see. If by some miracle I survive... Okay. 6 diff. So if she rolls a 2, I'd need to roll a 9. So there's a 3-point wiggle room, and if either of us rolls out of it, I'm taking damage. So if she rolls higher than a 6, I've lost whatever happens. Okay, Kelmar. I don't think you're going to make it, but at least you made a mark. I might have to start dipping into that luck soon. Yeah, not walking away from this one. Nope. It would seem. I fell for a lot of traps, took a lot of damage. Okay, luck it. Luck it. I wasn't given a luck option to reduce the damage there. Oh well. Hero is deaded. Blank pages of nothingness? What is going on here? Something very strange. No, your adventure ends here. Nothing, just mystery. Well, that's, Ah, there we are. Grimacing with pain, you pull the arrows from your leg and chest. You have sustained too many injuries and blood gushes from both wounds. You fall face first to the ground, never to awaken. Your adventure ends here. Well, I think that certainly merits a second attempt. And hopefully one with a modicum of skill. Okay. A bit less stamina. We can live with that. Give me some skill. Oh! Is it going to be luck 7? No, not bad at all. Right. So we obviously want the potion of fortune. Yes, give me my potion. Okay, so I got the potion of fortune, just not the potion of luck. Did I click on it by accident instead of rash provisions earlier? I might have done. But alright, that was an interesting attempt. and I think we can pick up next time, because this episode's probably been long enough. Well, truly, our first hero was absolutely cursed. He was lucky, just lacking in anything else that might have... I mean, he wasn't that lucky, was he? He had so much misfortune. But hey, that's the way it goes sometime. Right, I'm going to leave this episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, even if it was pretty tragic. And I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.